Good morning. Happy Tuesday. So, my man Scott has posted some stuff about how much Tony Robbins events cost, how long they are, how somebody working and making $40,000 a year couldn't afford these events. We all make our choices in terms of what's possible in the world. And you can either decide to see it working or see it not working. And then that's going to be your reality. So, Scott, I'm going to answer these questions on here because you posted on here. So, Tony Robbins talks about his first Jim Rohn event. Tony at the time was working as a janitor. He was 17 years old. He was graduating from college. He was basically living in his car. And he worked as a janitor at night because they paid him by the job, and he could do the job in half the time. He cleaned banks. He had heard about Jim Rohn, and he saw a guest event where he got to go for free. And he went up to Jim Rohn, and he said, I have to go to this seminar. Let me do a proposal for you. I want to go to the seminar, and then I'll come work for you. If you give me the seminar for free, I'll work for you until I pay you double the seminar. And Jim Rohn said, no. And Tony said he couldn't believe it when the guy said no. He goes, I will work for you, and I will work for you and pay you double. And Jim Rohn said no. He goes, you need to find the money for this seminar because the people that use it the most are the ones that it's the most difficult to get there. You will, if you have to extract this much value in order to make it to the seminar, you're going to get that much more value out of it. So Tony found extra jobs. He did extra things. He, clawed up all the money. It was a couple of weeks' salary. He paid to go to the seminar, and he went to the seminar. There was one other person in that seminar that was in a similar position to Tony. And Tony said, I remember that when I came out of that seminar, I could barely move my hand. I had written so many notes. And he went and took that information, and away he went. And he goes, Jim Rohn was right because I had to work so hard to come up with the money. I'm the one that took the most value out of that. There's nobody that's done those seminars that's utilized it the way that I did. When he left that seminar, he started doing speaking, and he needed a loan in order to do his first event. He went to a bank, and he went to bank after bank after bank, and he knew the Walt Disney story. And there was a lady that he had a relationship with at a bank because she had opened up his checking account. And he was actually using, at the time, he was still living in his car. He was using a 7-Eleven as his address. That's where he got his mail. So he went to this lady and he said, I need a loan because I'm going to start doing seminars. And she went to the bank, and the bank, of course, initially said no. He didn't even have a house. She came back and she believed in him so much. She said, I'm going to go back to the bank and I'm going to tell them that I'm going to co-sign on this loan. And she did, and he got the loan, and he did his first seminar. And then he went to work for Jim Rohn, doing seminars, doing exactly what he said he was going to do. And Jim told him, he goes, I figured you'd come back and work for me, but if you were the one that, if you had to go scrape up that money, you would have that much more drive and that much more hunger. And then he did work for Jim Rohn for quite a while, for a year or so, before he ventured out onto his own. And that lady at the bank ended up coming and working for Robbins Research International and worked for them for years and years and years. She used to be at a lot of the initial seminars. There's story after story after story like that at these seminars. We were in Dallas 10 years ago or so at a UPW, and there was a homeless guy hanging out by the front of the arena. And it was like he was waiting for us, and we found out later that he was. And when the crew got there, we get there a day early. When the crew got there, he started hanging out with the crew and basically just helping us. And we said, are you a member of the crew? No. So we asked him. Well, he told us his story. He didn't have any family, And when the housing crisis hit, he didn't own his house, he rented. And, he was in Texas, so they didn't pass a lot of laws protecting tenants. And before any of that happened nationally, he was evicted and he lost his job. So he's homeless. And he'd been living in homeless shelters. And if you know anything about a homeless shelter, you have to go there every day. If you watch The Pursuit of Happiness, which, by the way, I've met the guy from The Pursuit of Happiness. He's another Tony Robbins guy. He lives in Chicago, or at least he did for a long time. You got to go every day. You got to get in line every day and have the money every day in order to go stay in the homeless shelter. So there was a lot of times that he didn't have it. Well, that story came out, and he's sitting there working with us. So we all pooled our money and sent him to the UPW, and he got a ticket and he went to the UPW. After that, as he was there doing his stuff, somebody was looking him up and figured out that he was a vet. We grabbed him and said, "Why didn't you tell us that you were a vet?" And he said, "Because then I knew that you would give me a ticket, and I wanted to earn the ticket for being me, not because of my service." So that story came out during the UPW. Tony stood him up, talked to him about everything that went on with his life. One of the Platinum Partners grabbed him and took him to every Platinum Partner event over the next year. While he was doing that, he ended up in business with another Platinum Partner. They started a business together, and he's now a public speaker and has published a book. When I was at Life Mastery with Tanya a year ago, June, there was a guy there named J.J. Villar. Look him up. He's one of my friends on Facebook if you want to look him up. J.J. grew up in South America. I don't remember if it was Colombia or Argentina, but he grew up dancing on the streets. That's how he made his living. He made his way to Vegas and ended up as one of the lead dancers in Michael Jackson's One. Then he got injured and basically lost everything. He had gone to the UPW and he didn't have the money, but he paid to go to Life Mastery because he said he knew he needed something in order to get him to the next level. So when he was at Life Mastery, we didn't know this, but he really didn't have a place to stay. He was kind of sleeping out on the chairs out by the pool, and then there's a shower out there, so he would take a shower. So while he was telling this story, he and this other kid started dancing, and he did all of the Michael Jackson One stuff. Well, one of the Platinum Partners grabbed him and took him to Date with Destiny and Wealth Mastery and Leadership, and he went through the entire Leadership Academy. He was crewing with me at Date with Destiny, and with another Platinum Partner, he started a dance class. He started a business. It's a dance class thing, but it helps people. It's not just to teach you dancing. It's to help with utilize that as a way to counsel for addiction and for all of this type of stuff. There's story after story after story of people who couldn't afford the event but figured out a way to get there, and those are the ones that do the most with those events. I've sent a lot of people to events for free because I've gotten free tickets and various stuff over the years. It's rarely worked out. I ended up starting to change my approach and saying, look, I can get you a free ticket, but you got to get yourself there, and you've got to pay for your food, and you've got to pay for your lodging. Because I figured out that people got to have skin in the game. And if they don't have skin in the game, and the more skin you got, the more it's going to mean. People find a way. When they're determined, they find a way. When it's a must, you find a way. We figure out a way to make our mortgage payments. If your kid was in danger, you would figure out a way to protect them no matter what it meant. You would figure out a way. If you really want to make changes in your life, it's about commitment. It's about drive. It's rarely about talent. It's almost always about hunger. So if you think, well, these seminars are ridiculous, they're too much money, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, then that's where you're going to be, and that's going to be your reality. And then that's how that's how you're going to respond to the world. And so you're going to stay where you are. But if you look at it as, this is something that I have to do in order to change my life, and it isn't about the seminar, it's about what you bring to the seminar, and you get there and you pay that much attention, you're in that much of a hunger mode, when you come out of that, you're going to utilize that information that much greater. So that's why the difference. It isn't about the money, it's about having the skin in the game. And when we say, if you can't afford this, that's when you need to go. First time I heard that, I was like, wow, what a hokey sales pitch, until I was in that position. You know, when I went to stuff after 2000, I couldn't afford it, but I went. I figured out how to do it, and I went. And by God, when I went there on a mission. When I went to Date with Destiny in 2016, that no longer was a financial issue. That was a personal issue. That was an emotional issue. And I went there on a mission. And by God, I made the things happen that needed to happen. And that's the difference. That's the leverage. So if you think you can't, then you must. Remember that? Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I'm answering these questions because I think it's really relevant for everybody. There's a reason that it's not easy. There's a reason that we do the long days. That isn't just because it's cute. We do the long days because, number one, there's a lot of information, but number two, we peel back the layers. As exhaustion sets in, first of all, it's to show you that you can do this, but as exhaustion sets in, it's easier to access those emotions that will allow you to make changes that much quicker and better and deeper and longer. And so that's why we do that. Everything has a purpose. It isn't designed just to be cute. You know, Tony Robbins doesn't have to be doing this. He could be sitting at home. He could be hanging out with business leaders and cutting business deals. He doesn't have to be going around doing UPWs. He just spent $11 million on a studio down in Florida so that he can do this stuff virtually. He could have taken coronavirus as a sign that it's retire. He's 60. He's got however many hundreds of millions of dollars he got. He's not doing this for the money. He's doing it because it's his mission. And so are all the other people that do this. Les Brown, all those guys. You know, Napoleon Hill spoke until he was in his 90s. It's not about the money. You have to put up the money so that you have value in it. If you don't, then you're not gonna get out of it what you can. A lot of times the people that get the free stuff, they don't get it. So, seminar. I'm thinking the second Saturday in January. New Year's Day is like a Friday or something. It's a Thursday or a Friday. It's next week. And I was thinking about the Saturday after that. So the second Saturday in January, whatever that is. Respond and let me know if that sounds doable for everybody. If you want to do something, we'll go all day. I'll start in the morning and we'll go the majority of the day. It'll be Zoom, something for both of us to utilize to start the first of the year. And by the way, the incantations are every day in every way I'm feeling stronger and stronger. That's one of them. That's a great one. Every day in every way I'm feeling stronger and stronger. Second one, all I need is within me now. Those are great incantations if you're out doing it. Let me know about the seminar, guys. Hope everybody has a great day. Happy Tuesday. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.